If you're a physician thinking about starting a private practice and you've told yourself, I'll open in about 12 months, I want you to pause for a second because that timeline is one of the biggest traps that I see. Not because 12 months is wrong, but because most of the time it's not actually tied to anything real. And that is what can sometimes create frustration for physicians who are trying to start their own private practices. I'm Dr. Brittany Anderson. I am a family medicine physician and private practice owner, and I help physicians go from idea to opening their own practice with both structure and clarity. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 shifts that I think will help you build a timeline that actually works in real life. Most physicians pick a timeline like 12 months, but that number usually comes from either something you've heard or something that just feels reasonable. But usually it's not based on your decisions, your capacity, or the actual steps that are required to open a private practice. And so what happens then is that you either feel behind the entire time or everything just drags out and is longer than you expected it to take. So instead of just picking a number like 12 months, we're gonna build a timeline that actually makes sense for you. The first shift I want you to make is, yes, you can think in months, but those months need to be tied to specific decisions and milestones, not just passing time. So instead of saying, I'll open in 12 months, you want to think, okay, month 1 through 2, I'm getting clear on my practice model. Month 3 through 4, I'm setting up business and legal structure. Month 5 through 6, I'm crossing off systems and workflows. Month 7 through 9, I'm planning my launch. So now your timeline actually has structure and each month has a purpose. And if something takes longer, you don't just feel like you're behind, you know exactly what part of the process you need to spend more time on. I feel like that's a very different experience. The second shift that I want you to make is your timeline should match your actual life. Most of you are working full time, you're seeing patients all day, you're building this private practice in the evenings or on the weekends like I did. So when you say 12 months, but you actually only have a few hours a week to work on this, that's not the same timeline as someone who's working full time, and that's okay. But what I want is for you to be honest about it. A realistic timeline should be based on you actually consistently being able to spend time each week, not rushing how fast this has to happen, because consistency is what actually gets you to opening day. Now, the third shift is that you have to build in buffer time for things like credentialing, contracts, the build out, even just making decisions. These things almost always take longer than we expect. And if you don't plan for that in advance, you can start to feel like you're failing, but you're not failing. You're just experiencing a normal part of the process. And when you can expect delays, they don't derail you. So here's what I want you to remember. A good timeline is not just about speed. It's also about clarity and momentum. When you know what you're working on each month, you can keep moving forward, even when things sometimes take a little bit longer. You do not have to rush this private practice. You don't need to hit someone else's arbitrary deadline. You just need to work out a process that fits your life and allows you to move forward with intention. Now, if you need help actually mapping this out step by step, my course Plan to Practice walks you through building your business plan in a timeline in a structured way. And if you're still really early in the process, you can also take my free private practice readiness quiz. I'll be sure to link both of those things down below.